Greetings, Free Light family. It's me, Ellen Wright. I am here to talk to you today about anger, motivation, and inspiration. So, here's a little story for you. Last week at work, I got pretty angry. Kind of started out with certain small little things, and then it started to escalate over and over again. I started to see more things, and there was more things to be angry about. And I could actually see all of this happening. That's the benefit of the practices that I've been doing, is that I can see when I'm going down the wrong path. And I saw it, but I didn't stop it. So that was my thing. And at the end of the day, when I was sitting with my son and we were laughing and I was reading him books, I asked myself, what was the anger all about? Why were you so angry? Now, anger is a natural emotion. It's a natural reaction to feeling pain or hurt. So if you feel angry, it's okay. It's okay. Like I've said before, if you've watched any of my other videos, emotions are all natural and they're good. You just don't need to stop them. If you stop them, they get larger and larger and larger and larger. You have to feel the feeling. Doesn't mean you have to continue to focus on the feeling, but you need to feel it, okay, and allow it to move through you, because it's like a cloud. Goes across the sky, and then it comes back, and you feel different. But if you keep trying to block it out and say, I shouldn't be angry, you're going to get angrier. And it's going to eventually turn into maybe rage, violence, verbal, physical aggression. Anger is an indicator. It's a natural reaction that you feel like you've been hurt, someone is close to you is hurt or threatened. In the wild, animals even get angry. When their babies are being taken, if you've ever seen a dog that is protecting their puppy, or an alligator protecting its eggs, you'll see anger. Anger's there. Because anger is a natural reaction. In the brain, anger triggers our fight response. You've heard of fight, flight, or freeze. And that is a natural response as well. Anger is motivating. Anger is there to say to you, something is wrong here. You need to do something. Something is wrong. Now, there are some beliefs that are underneath anger that are dangerous false beliefs. And if you focus on them, just like any other thought, as thoughts come and go, come and go, come and go. You have so many thoughts during the day that I would not suggest that you believe everything you think. Don't believe everything you think. Okay? But there are some thoughts that trigger anger more than others. And one of the key thoughts that triggers anger is powerlessness, vulnerability. And those thoughts that are associated with that make it harder for you to experience anger in more of a healthy way, because you're going to keep experiencing anger unless you deal with that underlying core belief that you are powerless and that you are vulnerable and that you have no control over your life. In actuality, nobody has complete control over their lives. Everything comes and goes. Seasons change. People come, people go. Jobs come, jobs go. Our children grow up. Our pets die. We don't really have ultimate control. But we do have control over our perception of all the events. We do have control over the thoughts that we decide to hook into. So when you're experiencing anger, this is the thing I want you to take away from it. is that you are experiencing an emotion that is telling you something is wrong, something needs to change here. And if you go back a little bit deeper and you examine, then you can kind of figure out what that is. And for me, as soon as I asked myself that question, I was able to do that. I got pretty clear on what it was. And I started to think, okay, now here I am. I'm motivated. I'm going to do this. Now, the thing about motivation, and there's been whole industries based on motivation. You know, I'm going to motivate you to exercise. I'm going to motivate you to get a better job. I'm going to motivate you to be in love. And motivation is great. But a lot of times motivation comes from an outside source or an outside projection of powerlessness. And you then say, okay, here's an idea. I'm going to work really hard to do this idea. And then eventually, I know in my case, eventually I kind of lose interest. I kind of lose interest. I'm like, oh, maybe not today. Maybe I'll motivate myself again tomorrow. Anger is great because anger is a chief motivator. It motivates you to move and move fast. But what is longer lasting? Motivation or inspiration? Wayne Dyer, one of my favorite spiritual teachers, talked about being motivated versus being inspired. Inspiration is longer lasting and simply lovely. It is when an idea takes hold of you and you go along for the ride. You're not running to catch up with the idea or make the thing happen. Inspiration is when an idea takes hold of you and you continue to move forward with that idea, and that things align themselves for that to occur. A good example of this is in starting this free light community, I always used to tell myself, okay, you got to make yourself sit down and write and start and do something. And one night I was inspired. I woke up in the middle of the night and it was like something was saying to me, my brain was saying, go ahead, start it, do it. And since then, I've been getting idea after idea after idea after idea. I have so many ideas and so many things I want to share and do and be with people that I'm super excited. I'm finding time in my spare time to do this. I have a full-time job. I'm a single parent. And so, you know, there's not that much time, but miraculously there is. Because when you are inspired, you don't have to make yourself do something. You don't have to force it. And people get addicted to anger. They get addicted to feeling angry because they know that when they're angry, then they're going to be motivated, then they're going to see something happen. And they like the seeing something happen. That's the reason why they get addicted to the anger, because they're like, oh, I see something happening in my life. Finally, I've waited for this. But then it can go away. When you are inspired, coming from a place of joy, of hopefulness, of love, and I know I talk about that a lot, you will be inspired to act. Any successful entrepreneur who really loves what they're doing is inspired. They don't have to make themselves get up in the morning because they know that they're getting up to do what they love. I have a friend of mine in Hawaii who loves dogs, and she watches my videos. Hey girl, Dogs for Humanity. Anyway, she loves dogs, and she's made a business out of bringing joy to the lives of the owners and the dogs, and it's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to watch her kind of unfold in her path of being inspired to do what she loves. So, here's the question for you. First, how do you inspire yourself? The first thing you need to have is to be settled, to be silent, even just for a little bit. A friend of mine this morning just said to me, meditate, meditate. Find the still place in the storm. Fill up your cup. And then ask yourself, what do you desire? Ask yourself, what do you desire? And really listen for the first answer that comes. First answer that pops in here. Don't question it. Don't say to yourself, I can't do that. I can't go to culinary school. I can't move to Australia. Don't question it. Because when you are inspired, an idea takes hold of you and things happen. There's enough time, there's enough resources, you'll get an opportunity to be that in the world. I have another friend of mine who can really bake, and I really would love to see her go to culinary school and to really take it to the next level for decorating and learning how to do flavors and everything else. And in the meantime, before she's in culinary school, she can bake. You don't have to go from one big thing to another. You can take steps in the direction of your dream. And it's good. Because you'll feel happy, you'll feel good, you'll feel excited, you'll feel joyous in the process. So again, remember that when you're having those angry days, that's a good place to start to try to figure out what is wrong here. What is wrong? Because when you understand what is wrong, then you can start to understand what you desire, what you want. So I thank you for your time. Be free, be light, free light. Peace.